This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, fire at 720 South Kansas Avenue, home of HHB Barbecue and Top City Soda Pop, plus Downtown Topeka Inc.
Usually we have a lot of uplifting things to talk about, and the only thing that's uplifting on today's show is the spirit of the folks that are joining me here in the studio. It's Eddie and Kim Meggie. They are the owners of HHB Barbecue, and I say owners because you still are the owners, despite the fact that it burned down last week in downtown Topeka. Your restaurant is at 720 South Kansas Avenue, or was until Friday of last week. Yes. And we wanted to have you on the show just to talk a little bit about this and get your story here about this. First of all, let's start Friday morning. How did you find out about this? And let's just trace this all the way back and explain the experience for us.
Well, according to the fire department, the alarm went out about 2:15. As far as smoke, in buildings downtown or whatever, a smoke alarm went off, and I will say that's when building owners on each side of us got a call. I did not know until 5:28 on Friday morning, walked out. Of course, that's when the early morning news are, and they said breaking news, downtown fire. And when you look and you're enlightened, there's a ladder in the window of your building.
Oh my goodness.
And I immediately turned around, went back and said, Kim, you need to get up. We need to go. And she gave me that phony look and said, what the hell time is it? And I said, Kim, it's time to get up. And that's how we found out, as far as that goes. So that's an interesting start to a Friday morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
you're seeing this on TV. What did you think, Kim? I mean, at this time, you're both just sitting here watching this on the news, trying to figure out
I got dressed, we got our coats, and we walked out the door. Well, I didn't even see it on TV. I didn't have any idea what we were walking into.
So neither one of you really had an idea, other than you knew there was a fire on Kansas Avenue. You knew you saw a ladder going in your building. You got in your car, you zipped down here.
We went to the back entrance first, and they wouldn't let us back there. They told us to go around front.
And then they wouldn't let us come down what we'd say the east side of the street. We had to go the west side.
I tried.
I would have been trying every way possible, starting with the quickest.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you're to get in touch with the people in charge, which they had 2 fire chiefs, and after we met them and they got some information down, it wasn't long that the fire investigator come and talked to us, and we called
called Scott
and Brian from Top City and told them what was going on, and they were down there within 15 minutes, and then the waiting game starts. And
how was that? I mean, just you had to sit there, watch this. Explain what that was like to be waiting while you're watching, your livelihood go up in smoke.
You just are sick.
Yeah.
You literally want to be sick.
How long did you sit there? I mean, how long were you watching? How long did you have to? Was this hours or
Oh, hours.
Right.
Yes.
I suppose it was probably on towards 7:30, and by then they pretty well had the fire knocked down, and nothing as far as flames or. They told us that the smoke was terrible. At the beginning.
But they did an awesome job containing it and not letting the fire spread to our neighbors. And I mean, I'm sad that they have to experience this too with the water and the smoke but I'm very thankful that their buildings are still intact and they're still able to.
Right. I know there was more than one fireman said. In a situation like this, I mean, they've seen it in other towns or whatever. I mean, one building, next thing you know, half a block is gone because they cannot get it stopped, But they've done a super job keeping it, contained right there to that area. And I know he said, when you start talking about water, 10,000 gallons isn't even a drop compared to how much water they put on there. When you've got 7 fire trucks down there.
Think about that. Think about how wet and how cold it is out there. It was very cold.
It was cold that day.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were standing out here, all this water, freezing cold temperatures, And were your neighbors, were they out there as well? Were you all kind of just standing around saying, oh?
Well, it's surprising, as, Friday comes along with downtown people, not everybody, is coming back to work on, Friday after New Year's, but one after another, I mean, seeing friendly people, it was great. I mean, whether it was Gypsy from, or the NCUU group,
right. Yeah.
it
all
was
of our
just
downtown neighbors, and I mean, whether they were involved with the fire or not, we had lots of friends and family calling and coming by before work, or just staying with us, and
because it was a big waiting game. I mean, until they give the all clear, I mean, which really happened not till 5:30 in the evening, as far as somebody could let us in the building. I mean, we were on the back of the, in the Cap-Fed parking lot, on the very top floor.
Saw several pictures, looking down.
Just watching it crumble.
You were watching it crumble, and then they had to bring in heavy machinery to tear down.
Right.
What was that all about?
I mean, for the fire investigators to do their job, that back wall of that building, the way it, sucked everything out of that, it was not safe. So the only way they could, make it safe for them to come in and finalize their job was to knock that back part of the building down. And city was, definitely in charge of that. And by God, at 1 o'clock, that thing was rolling around the corner. They were going to knock that down so they could, do their job and do it right too.
Make sure everything was safe, of course.
Right.
As you have all these people running around, telling you investigators and looking, what's the process like for that? Is it at all just a little bit overwhelming?
It seemed like every one of the investigators had their own set of questions, but they all were about the same. But it's just like a criminal case almost. I mean, they got to look at every avenue, and every link, and then they go in, and it's amazing how they can pinpoint, where they think a fire started and where it went from there.
As of now, do they have any kind of ideas that we can share, or about how the fire might have started?
I mean, they still think it's an electrical issue, as far as I know. I mean, if it's something different, they haven't told me.
You're dealing with this incredibly well. I mean, you're smiling, you've got such wonderful spirits, and I think that is a testament to anybody to realize that whatever you've worked for, it's the people, right?
Right.
Is that what it is?
Right.
Yes.
You're all good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You did it once, we'll do it again.
Right.
Right.
The community is standing behind you guys with this.
We've got a great following, and we're looking forward to, as soon as we find a place, and watch us on Facebook. I mean, we'll give updates all the way along. I know not everybody has that, but we'll keep everybody informed. And it's surprising how fast that gets around.
Yeah, it's just HHB Barbecue. You can find them on Facebook. There are a couple of other things that, the neighbors around here, I want to talk a little bit about that. What has it been like interacting with the folks in the neighborhood ever since this has happened? Have they been supportive?
Oh, very, very.
Yeah.
They're either calling or texting or emailing, or just when we're down here looking at a window to see if this building might work, or going in and out of our building. How you doing? We're ready for you to be back. If you need any help. I mean, it's just been. I mean, that's been overwhelming too.
Right.
I mean, just
the outpouring of people wanting to help, and it's going to become a situation where there isn't going to be this big cleanup process. We kind of know that building is a total loss, so there isn't going to be an HHB barbecue back in that building. But that doesn't mean we're not going to be close in another building, right downtown, serving the great, same great barbecue in the very near future as far as that goes.
Well, we're going to be in line on the very first day that you're open. Save some brisket for me.
Okay.
If I'm late, I'll call and you have to take it back.
Okay.
Because I know you're going to sell out when we open it up.
We'll cook extra.
Yeah.
Like I said, I reach out to any of us. If there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to let us know. I know all the folks down at DTI are anything they can do. They've said Let them know. And of course, the folks listening and watching, make sure that you're keeping an eye out on this situation. Like their Facebook page so you can follow their progress as they start back up and get back into business. And then when they open up, be sure to get down there and try some of the best barbecue in town because you really do got it, guys. We're here in the Talk About Topeka studios with Scott May, Brian Adams from Top City Soda Pop, and you might have been hearing about them in the news lately, or about a lack of a place for them now at this time. Wow, thank you guys so much for joining us today. You know, last week, last Friday, as a matter of fact, you guys had a really devastating surprise waiting for you in the morning.
It was a rough way to start the year.
Yeah, and that really is with the New Year's resolutions. Boy, that was not a resolution we wanted to start with. But the fire that was last week was not the reason you guys were coming on the show today. Originally,
yes.
You were originally coming here to talk about a new flavor that you guys had put out. It was your dark cream soda.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Our limited edition.
It's gold
dark
now.
cream, which really is a limited edition now. So while we didn't quite intend it to be that limited, get them while they last.
Yeah.
You know, we just stocked up at the break room getting ready to launch it. It was just earlier last week. And then we had New Year's Eve. New Year's Day came along, great. And then there was Friday morning.
There was Friday morning.
What happened Friday morning? How'd you find out and where did we go?
Well, Friday morning, just a hair after 6 a.m., I get a phone call, which I probably would have normally rolled over and completely ignored, but I saw it was from Kim with HHB Barbecue, and so I said, I better answer it.
It's really early, yeah.
Something, maybe they need something, I can help out. So I answered the phone, and she was very short and said, the building's on fire, you need to get down here. I said, I'm on my way. So I hung up with her, I called Brian to let him know what was going on.
It's still too early.
Yes. And we made our way, let my wife know what was going on. We made our way down there. And, when we first got there, we walked up to the front where it seemed to be all the activity was going on. I mean, there was, 6 or 8 fire trucks out there, crews running everywhere, still spraying water. And from the front, it didn't look that bad. I mean, at that point, we're without with the lack of information, we're just kind of filling things in our brain as best we can.
On the drive over, just the 10 minutes from my house, I kept telling myself it could be horrible, it could be fine. I had no information. I mean, none of us had, but it could be the absolute worst or not all that bad. We just didn't know.
We didn't. And so we're standing out there, looking at the building. I mean, we see smoke coming out. We see water literally pouring down the staircase, cascading down the stairs. And, still kind of making a plan. Okay, well, when we can get in there this afternoon, hopefully we can, see what we can salvage, what we can clean, what we can, what we can do. The fire department's telling us, prepare yourself. It's not good. We're still thinking, okay, sure, it's bad, but we can, we can do what we can do, right?
Yeah.
Industrious guys.
Yeah. So, it was sickening all morning. I mean, I just had a pit in my stomach. It was just, it's hard to describe. It was just a terrible, terrible feeling. A lot of unknown, a lot of your brain playing tricks on you, making it seem worse than maybe it was. Early in the afternoon, we got a chance to finally, they'd cleared out around the back a little bit. We were able to go around the back to the alley to take a look from back there. And we walked around the corner and I saw it for the first time and my heart just sank.
The front, it didn't look so bad.
It didn't look bad.
The
back, there's nothing left. I mean, the back third of the building is literally gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the place, the upstairs area where our facility was, it doesn't exist. There's no floor, there's no ceiling, there's no nothing.
Wow.
There's nothing recognizable there. It's gone.
Wow.
So we're standing there and we're looking at that and we're just in shock. My wife's phone rings and it's my mother-in-law. It's her mom, and she asks if she needs to come down and help us clean. So we politely told her that thank you, but no, there's nothing to clean.
It's just amazing, that people want to get in line and help out. Seeing the positive spirit that you guys all had about this, I think it would be very easy to, turn into one of those people that has nothing positive to say and write about it online all day, for something like this. There's a lot of people that do that kind of thing. But to see you guys all being very positive about this and seeing so many people come through is another wonderful piece. So where do we go from here?
Well, we've had a little bit of a chance now to kind of, see where we're at, see what our possibility, what the possibilities are going from here. And the positive, the good news is that we are starting to form a clear path. We have started to formulate a plan of where to move next, where to go. We've made the decision, we've made the commitment that it's not a matter of if we're going to come back, it's now a when. We don't have a set date, a firm date is where we can say root beer will be flowing again, but it will, and it will be this year. So we will be, continuously moving forward, purchasing equipment we need to purchase, making connections we need to make to move forward. Everybody can stay up to date on our progress through our website, which is topcitysodapop.com, and our Facebook page, so facebook.com/topcitysodapop.
Everyone should like Facebook.
Please like us, support us, continue with that.
They all like you, but they need to like you on there, so yes. Do you guys want to say anything to those folks around you who are supportive, or you have any words for them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to our family, to our friends, to those of you that we've never met, thank you. I mean, this I can't even begin to describe how the last week has been for us, how it's affected us, both personally, professionally, as a business. You have made it so much easier for us. I mean, just knowing that that our family and our friends, and again, those people that we've never met, are there for us and believe in our business. They believe in what we're doing. It's been amazing. We could not have done it without them.
Yeah.
You said everything.
That's what I do.
You took it all.
So yeah, thanks. Thanks for everyone. Thanks for the people that stood on a cold January morning just to stand with us on a sidewalk watching fire trucks. It sounds like fun, but it's not. Everybody who showed up at the coffee house just to give us a hug and tell us it was going to be all right. I mean, that just means so much to us. And now I know that the next time I go to one of these functions, that I know I'm not walking into a group of business people I don't know, or I'm going into a group of friends, and that means so much. Yeah, and the best way to support us is when we're back up and running, buy a bottle.
Yeah.
Buy a six-pack.
Buy a six-pack.
And I'll tell you, you're not going to be disappointed. That's the thing. It's incredible root beer. You guys really did put a lot of your heart and soul into it, and it's not going to be stopped by this, I can tell. And I thank you guys for everything that you guys have done to build this product, and we're not going to let it go away. We know you've got the drive and the passion to keep it going.
Thanks,
not giving up.
For being a great supporter.
We're with Vince Fri, the president and CEO of Downtown Topeka Incorporated. Of course, the event we're talking about was the fire in the 700 block at 720 South Kansas Avenue, the HHB barbecue in the Top City Soda Pop location. And I wanted to get a feel of DTI's stance on the whole fire and potentially go back to where did we begin with this? When you find out about a fire on Kansas Avenue, how'd you find out, and what does that do? What mode do you have to kick into at that time?
Well, obviously that was my first fire on Kansas Avenue as
hopefully your last for
being
a very long
involved
time.
with DTI, but I actually was watching the news and I saw this story that there's a fire in downtown, which naturally caught my attention. And when I saw where it was and the businesses, I was really scared. Those are very successful downtown businesses right in the middle of Kansas Avenue. So naturally, my first thought was get downtown and see what I could do. When I did get downtown, obviously the fire had been extinguished for the most part, The fire department just did a wonderful job. And when you think about what could have happened and how it could have spread, that is could have been devastating.
Those buildings are side by side.
Yes, they are.
It's not easy.
Fortunately, many of them don't share the same wall. They have separate walls, and but the fire department got there in time to contain it. And so when I got down there, Kim and Ed Meggie that own HHB were out on the street, as well as Brian and from Top City Soda, and they were just kind of, I think they were just still in shock. Some people that work for Clayton Financial were there also, and so I kind of got an update from what they knew at that point in time. But the main thing that DTI wanted to do was to let them know that we were there in support, and to let them know that we would do whatever we could to help them find a new place to open up as soon as possible, or to help them get up and running if indeed the business wasn't damaged to the extent that they couldn't be in business a couple of days later. We do intend to do whatever we can to help them find a location and to promote them and let people know that they're open, and hopefully people will come down and support them, not just because they just sustained some damage, but because they're a business that has a great product and service that deserves people's support.
So we know that on that building the roof collapsed.
It did.
And we know when that happens, it's pretty much gone.
Right.
So the majority of that building is gone, and we're saying hopefully we can save the facade on the front.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, there was some damage. I think part of the facade moved slightly. They had a structural engineer come in and check it out, and so I think they're hopeful of trying to save that facade. But obviously they'll do whatever is appropriate and try to make that space something that will be very usable in the future.
Very good. I know these guys have really been great members, good neighbors downtown, all of them. And it's really, we're glad that we can hopefully entice them to stay in the area and keep them around down here. It's just a great community that we have going on here in Topeka. Really, through tragedy, it really shows what we can do when we stand together.
People step up, they really do.
And something very simple, you can make a contribution. Of course, New Century Credit Union has a local fund for both of them.
Correct.
I've seen a GoFundMe account online, so if you don't even want to go anywhere and you just want to go put your card online and make a contribution, throw them a few bucks if that's all you got. If you got a lot, throw them a bunch. Or come down and buy one of the limited edition cream sodas, the dark cream sodas from Top City Soda at either the Break Room or from Gala's in West Ridge Mall. So I had to say that again just to make sure everybody was writing the first time.
Absolutely. Well, I hope they got it. Absolutely.
It's important stuff.
Yeah,
So we've got a great community of downtown folks, and Vince, I thank you. You guys were out there. We saw you and your whole staff right out there.
Well, it affected us dramatically, and again, we're fortunate that it wasn't worse than it was, but for those affected, it was bad and a terrible way to start the new year, but we'll get through it.
We're going to keep them all together, and it takes a village.
It does.
And, even if I am the village idiot, I'll do it. But thank you, Vince. I really do appreciate that. We're going to talk a little bit about history of that building at the 720 South Kansas Avenue, and we're going to talk some history of fires on Kansas Avenue. There's been quite a history of that with Doug Wallace, our resident historian, coming up.
Visit talkabouttopeka.com for Doug Wallace's historical perspective on downtown fires and extended interviews with everyone else from this episode.